2023 was a big year for the WWE. I think it's fair enough to say a lot of people can agree. And earlier this week, I gave you my top 10 matches of the WWE. Now I'm going to come back and give you my top 10 athletes, wrestlers on the WWE. Yes, this is a co-gender top 25. I have a top 25. I created a top 25 early this week. I'm only going to share my top 10. Now, names that are not in the top 10 is people like Kevin Owens, who I think has had his success at the hands of the Sami Zayn and the Bloodline feud earlier on in the year. I think Dominic Mysterio has improved himself significantly this past year as a singles athlete, especially affiliating himself with the Judgment Day. I still think that a loss by his father at WrestleMania kind of helped build him a little bit. Just not making the cut is Becky Lynch. She comes in at number 11, but she's a wrestler noted in this list because she, whenever you carry someone that is a Hall of Famer like Trish Stratus, and don't get me wrong, she did well for herself in the ring. I think that's, also worthy of an accomplishment throughout, someone's career. Bailey with Damage Control, Baron Corbin has resurpassed himself a little bit among, in the NXT. And, then we get down the list, Asuka, Dragon Lee. So I'll post my top 25 list, but I have my top 10 afford you today. And starting off at number 10 is going to be Jey Uso. I think one of my biggest excitement seeing Jey Uso in this top 10 list is because, he's branched off. He had to separate from this bloodline, and he's had to step up to the plate a little bit. He wanted his own singles career, and sometimes when you're stuck doing a brotherly, tag team deal, it's a bit hard. I think he's handled himself in the ring, pretty well. He's earned himself a main event shot. Hopefully this isn't just something that bypasses by. So Jey Uso comes in at number 10. Coming in at number 9 is Damian Priest. One of the two Judgment Days I really like to highlight in this top 10. He's won the Money in the Bank. He didn't have a WrestleMania match, by the way, which I thought was pretty wrong to leave him out. But he made that up at a Backlash where he carried Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico, which was a really big event. I think that pay-per-view alone sparks a lot moving forward for the WWE. So, they excelled tremendously. You saw a lot of, like Carlito, LWO, Rey Mysterio at the time. So, and then he goes on to win the Money in the Bank. And, now it's kind of who's in power, Damian or Rhea. But he's setting himself up pretty nicely. That's why he comes in at number 8. Number 9, excuse me. Number 8 is LA Knight. Every year I think there is an athlete that gets a heavy push in the WWE, regardless if they win a championship or not. LA Knight was one of those this past year. Back in 2022, I think the argument could have been said about Austin Theory, although that did not really quite work out. Where is he at now? LA Knight feels like he's fitting in that role. It's kind of built up throughout the first half of the year, and now it's carrying into 2024. He's had himself a championship match, and he's not wasting time. And what I like about it is that he is one of your faces that has a lot of fan reaction, to his to whenever he comes out. So I tremendously like LA Knight. That's why he is in number 8. Number 7 has to be Logan Paul, and I know I'm going to get a lot of mixed comments and mixed feelings about this. You can't deny, regardless if you like him or not, what he's capable of doing inside that ring. He may not be the best outside the ring, and that's forgiven, but he's took some chances. We're looking at the Royal Rumble match where Logan Paul and Ricochet just jump ropes and smack, hit each other. Then you take a look at Logan Paul and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, having that WrestleMania moment. Now you're looking at Logan Paul going back, having that feud with Ricochet to a SummerSlam match, which was, I think, a fairly good match for what we're looking at. Then you're looking at, becoming United States champion, defeating Rey Mysterio. And, the way that we're seeing this now is that he could be a eventer inside. I mean, inside WrestleMania this year. So, although you may or may not like him, I get that, but you can't deny what he's capable of doing. He's definitely worked really hard to earn his position inside that ring in a shorter period of time. Number 6 is Roman Reigns. This is another controversy statement that I will have to just take a grind for, because Roman Reigns, he's at the top of the food chain still, and as long as he holds that title, I think he always will be. And this one's a bit difficult for me, because yes, he has to be in the top 10 in my opinion. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of, stuff going on that's riding on his championship reign, his success, but he has not defended this title accordingly. Only 11 matches last year alone. Yes, he's had some incredible matches, but only 11 matches. I feel like they threw in a Logan Paul, or they threw in, an LA Knight just to bypass some time to get through another year. But, he hasn't really, he has not been a game changer in the WWE, and he hasn't really done anything to say, oh, he should be number 1. So that's why he's number 6. Number 4, Rhea Ripley. This is that other part of the Judgment Day that I was talking about. I think she's taken a bigger stand and a bigger role last year compared to Damian Priest. She goes on, wins the Royal Rumble. She ends up winning the SmackDown Women's Championship, defeating Charlotte Flair. She carries this title prestigiously. She's carrying the Judgment Day. And although there seems to be cracks and feuds inside the Judgment Day, it doesn't seem like it's gotten to her at all. Rhea Ripley fits at number 5. She's probably the top woman in the WWE, including now. And she's just waiting for that next opponent that could dethrone her. Coming in at number 4 is going to be the ring general Gunther. And I think someone, a wrestling fan who's watched WWE from start to beginning has to agree with me that Gunther deserves to be in this top 5, or even in the top 10 in this position. He went toe to toe at the Royal Rumble last year, where he entered number 1, and he lasted all the way until Cody Rhodes eliminated him. He went on and had a brutal triple threat match, okay, that ended up was probably the match of the year. And, he's surpassed the Honky Tonk Man, which I know a lot of people have feelings about that, but he's brought an image to the Intercontinental Championship. It's like, you got to defend it. You got to hold it up and, be proud of it. And he's done that in this IC title. And there just hasn't been a worthy opponent to come beat him. Maybe that will change this year. Number 3 is going to be Sami Zayn. And I think a lot of people may overlook Sami Zayn because a lot of his success and a lot of his involvement was at the first half of the year, where he ended up, I would say he was the mastermind behind the tarnation of the judgment of the bloodline. Sami Zayn, was being mistreated from Roman Reigns. Therefore, at SummerSlam, at the Royal Rumble, when Roman Reigns defeats Kevin Owens, and Roman Reigns wants to punish Kevin Owens and at the hands of Sami Zayn. Sami rejected. This led into Sami retaliating and attacking Roman. This led to a championship match at Elimination Chamber and a title and a undisputed WWE tag team titles at WrestleMania alongside with Kevin Owens, beating the Usos in the main event of night one. They go on to hold the title for quite some time throughout the year before then losing it. Sami Zayn alone kept on pushing the Usos to realize what Roman Reigns has been doing to them. He ended up causing the Bloodline Civil War. I mean, and he's played a huge part in the dynamic of change of the WWE in 2023. Coming at number 2 is Cody Rhodes. That dream that never got finished last year. He had to crawl back and say, all right, I'm going to take the next year and face everyone to re-earn that position. And he's earned it, beating Brock Lesnar, going on to beat, guys like Drew McIntyre, Shinsuke Nakamura, so on and so on. I feel like he's now deserved that championship opportunity once more. Cody Rhodes also having a healthy year, I think, is a key component to where he's at today. Coming in at number 1 is Seth Rollins, who won that World Heavyweight Championship back at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. That's something else to mention, for Sami Zayn to finally have that match in that country after all these years. Seth Rollins has been the workhorse of the WWE. He's been the face of Monday Night Raw, and I would arguably be saying that he would be the face of the WWE despite Roman Reigns. So, I mean, and he's held that title just like Triple H wanted him to be a fighting champion who would defend that title anytime, any place, anywhere. And he's done that successfully against guys like Drew, Finn, Shinsuke, you name it, he's been through it. So Seth Rollins comes at number 1 in the top 10 WWE wrestlers of 2023.